I got a really interesting question this week, and it's been a few days. I wanted to make a video before now, but this is what I'm going to try to address. Somebody asked me, what's the difference between the private consulting or counseling sessions that you do and the meetings of the Planetary Healing Club, which are once a week on Saturday, with the archives available for members that don't get to come to the meeting. Really the most obvious difference is that the Planetary Healing Club meetings have all of us together, and there are as many people as can make the live meeting come, and it's interactive, and we have this private platform that won't get censored, at least not for the moment. And so we can talk openly about health issues and life issues and educational things that I want to share with you guys each week that I prepare during the week to bring to the club meeting. And the reason I have those things that I want to share, the reason that we started the club, and also the private consulting too, counseling sessions, it's because I'm kind of in an unusual position. I've spent more than half a century at exploring these things, and especially aging and consciousness and health and longevity, which is a different issue really. But I'm actually, more than longevity, I'm interested in the quality of your life and how you actually feel. Even whether your life is short or long, it's the same quality issue. And what I found is the body is designed to stay in great condition and plenty of energy, and not bogged down by aging and, you know, your joints falling apart and your heart getting unreliable and all kinds of, your brain getting foggy and all that. We're not designed to have those issues. And so if we do, which almost all of us do, what it's telling us is that we're making mistakes. And I spent decades and decades finding out as much as I could about what those mistakes were, and there are all these things being taught by the natural health teachers, and I've tried most of them, and there's a tendency to just grab onto a belief system, whether, you know, these things become a religion, like whatever a certain teacher is teaching, and then it's really hard to see anything outside of that paradigm. And so I tried to have no preconceptions, see when what I was doing was clearly not producing the results that I wanted, and consider things outside the box of where I was. And I did that over and over and over again with trial and error. And at this point, or starting about 5 years ago, and I had been doing my work and consulting work really quietly, because I was getting into levels of health information that are really forbidden to share in the US and Europe and most all the world right now. A lot of doctors, even in America, have been murdered in the last 2 or 3 years just for daring to talk about a tiny fraction of the stuff that I had been discovering and getting into. So I thought, well, I should be quiet, because I'd probably do more good if I was still alive in a physical body than if I was not. And so I was doing it that way. But then about 5 years ago, somebody asked, would you please start a health show on the internet, which is worldwide? And I thought, all right, well, it's not really ethical to say no. So Lost Arts Radio got its start that way. And incredible guests came on, and it was clearly something that was meant to happen. And it's been wonderful for me, and for Doug too, who's the other great person holding this together. But the private consulting and counseling, it's for people that want private opportunity to communicate, and I just take in everything that they're talking about, their health situation, their life situation, and what they're dealing with, and just so they don't have to go through the trial and error that I did, I just give them whatever I've been able to learn since I started this in the mid-60s. And it's a lot, and it's valuable, and the thing is, it takes work to use it. It's not just a magic herb or something, you know, like a natural drug. It's not like that. It's little details of lifestyle, thought patterns that we aren't even aware of, that we're maintaining and perpetuating all the time. It's emotional conditions. It's all really boiling down to consciousness, and consciousness is centered on self-awareness. It's not like consciousness of learning all the bad things happening in the world. That's not what I'm talking about. It's awareness of who you are, because what I found is that you're an incredible being, and not in some philosophical sense. I mean real. You know, I mean, it's an incredible honor to even talk to you for a minute, because you have the potential not only to revolutionize your own life and just completely start something on another level, but once that gets established, you have forgotten abilities, we all do, that could change the future of life on this planet. And it's well worth it to find out, rediscover those, and learn to use them. If a certain number of us do that, the plan of the global rulers to destroy everything, which is what they're intending, does not have to happen. And it really, a lot of it's in your hands. So you're not a helpless victim, it's the opposite. And I help people get in touch with that and give them tools that they can use to totally transform their own life experience. Now there's money involved in it, which all goes to the Lost Arts Research Institute, our nonprofit. And if we get enough, its intent is to build a school, which is unlike anything I'm aware of on the planet. And we need a lot of, I mean, I need probably more consulting appointments than I could ever get, but it's a start, and it helps, and it keeps us on the air. It keeps our research projects going. It's so that we don't disappear, basically. And if we find safe sources of funding that go beyond that, then we get to build the school, and that'll be real exciting. One way that could happen is if we get a lot of people into Planetary Healing Club, which is very, very inexpensive. All the dues money, that's $25 for a month, goes to the Research Institute. So if we got a huge number of members that were getting benefit from the club, then we would not even need to look for another source of funding for the school. So that's the money side of it. If we could do everything free and still survive, we would, because this is not a scam for money. In fact, the reason we don't have enough right now is I've ignored it for so long and just focused on discovery and research and how we can get ourselves in better condition. And I spent about 20 years near the end of my experimental health research finding out about what the global rulers at a very high level, way beyond the elected official level, what they're doing and what they have planned for us in the years immediately ahead. It's not very friendly. It's not something that you would like. It's not good for the future generations, if there are any, depending on if we have that long. So my interest became not just to share with you what could transform your life on a health issues, life issues, relationship issues, all that stuff. That all goes together because consciousness affects absolutely all of it, along with your physical daily habits. It's all tied together. This thing that they're different specialties that are not related to each other is completely false. That's a paradigm that's supposed to get you to not really understand anything. The narrow specialty idea is a real dead end. And it's a setup for misusing what you do learn. Learning how to put it all together is what gives you a better chance to make actually some good use out of what you learn. And you're the laboratory. It's not like you have to go out and force somebody else and say, oh, look what I just learned, you have to do this. That kind of, aggressive promotion type thing is not the point. You do it. I do it. We do it on ourselves, because, the more I learn about this, I know I'm below beginner level, but I know how some of these things can be done. I've developed some tools that you can use that are super valuable. So that's what the private session's about. But we do the same thing in the club every week. And the people who put it to use, they end up they're not the same after that. And it's just the beginning of this incredible, beyond magical journey that you get to go on when you're ready. You know, until then, most of us spend our time running away from ourselves, really, right? I mean, we blame it on other people, but what we're really running away from is what's inside us. And if we're mad at other people, invariably, we're really mad and disappointed at ourselves. If we're afraid, that's underneath all the stuff that blocks consciousness. And when you find out that fear is completely optional, just like stress, it changes your life. So if you would like private help on that from me, when and if I have time, write to me at richard@lostartsradio.com. I'm going to tell you more about this because we got a lot of people asking about it. And if you are interested in being part of the club, and sometimes people do a private session or more than one, and then they'll get in the club for maintenance and to take it farther and for group support and just an atmosphere that keeps the focus on discovery in yourself. And I don't mean philosophical. I'm talking about for real. So that if this stuff is valuable, my thought is, all right now, when I go to the store, when I deal with my kids or my spouse or my friends or my job or things that I'm trying to learn, it should have an effect right down on the physical level in what you're doing, sports, whatever it is. Otherwise, it's just an idea that may or may not be true. So you're in charge of the laboratory in your own body where you can test these things out. And I'm inviting you, when you're willing to and when you're brave enough to go and start doing that, where it will take you is amazing, and it's nowhere other than who you've always been from the beginning. And we haven't had any idea what amazing beings that we actually are. But it would be a good thing to find out and to start using. The world really needs you urgently. Not somebody else, but you. And if it's not the right time, that's fine. I figure 1 out of 1,000 people in the world or who hear this will be wanting to take part and willing to do the work. You're not in competition with anybody else. You're not really in competition at all. It's just, are you going to relax the resistance and the fear and do what's necessary to find out what you could really be and do? When you are, then check out what I'm talking about. Stay in touch at lostartsradio.com. Get on our mailing list there. It's free, and it's just, if we get banned on too many other places, then at least we can stay in touch that way if we have information to get to you. Also, we have a new account on subscribestar.com. I just wrote down the link. Doug gave it to me. If you want to support us and help us stay on the air and keep giving you videos to encourage and give you tools to find out more who the incredible person that you are. Everybody's waiting for you. Believe it's not something to just say. It's really true. You're going to be blown away when you find out. But anyway, if you want to support our work at any level financially, because we're not even up to survival level and we have projects we need to fund, that's subscribestar.com/lostarts plural radio. Subscribestar, subscribestar.com/lostartsradio. There's a lot of levels there if you want to give us any support. And the other one is Brighteon.com, where we have our own fairly new channel, and Brighteon needs people to use it so it'll grow faster. And that's Brighteon, Brighteon, like bright new age. Eon is like an age. So Brighteon.com/, channel, CHANNEL / Lost Radio. And if you watch our videos over there, you'll be helping Brighteon to grow, which is a really good thing to do. So if you have any questions, I'm going to try to start answering all the ones I've had about the private counseling sessions and the group sessions at planetaryhealingclub.com. But if I'm not covering something that you wanted to know about, including who should not, really spend their time on either one of those, because it's not for everybody. You have to have a real motivation to want to start to transform your life experience. And in that case, these two things will be very useful for you if you make good use of them. But let me know if I'm not covering what you want to know, and I'll answer it for sure in a video. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. So stay in touch at lostartsradio.com. Watch for our Sunday guest shows, which are still going on. All the archives are free all over the major platforms, as long as we're able to stay there. And Brighteon especially, which needs support. Some of them are just audio, like Blog Talk Radio that we've been on for 5 years. And I'll try to give you as much more of this information as I can. If there are any particular areas that you want to talk about relating to health or consciousness, which covers pretty much everything, just let me know, Richard at lostartsradio.com. And remember, for the moment anyway, we've got Lost Arts Radio Live, which goes live at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, every Saturday before the meeting of Planetary Healing Club. And we're getting into some pretty interesting stuff there. Not banned yet. We were off the air for a couple weeks for live streaming, but they let us back on now, so we're trying our best to not disappear from that site. Anyway, sorry, I wanted to make it short, and I'll deal with more questions about Planetary Healing Club and the private sessions on our next video. Talk to you soon.